I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Who am I but I'm Dre Mac? Came into the game just to spit facts. Into the space and I'm in. They call me Bobby Drake cause I'm cold with the pen. I run no diamonds but I still shine. You can dig me cause my boy's mine. My tracks flame like a dilute. I orange blood on my tongue, thinking this is warm blue. I'ma throw with a gas leak. Camouflage in the mist, but you smell me. One spark, then I bet you I'ma blow up. Then throw my name around, get stupid, then you go dumb. No rest for the weary. A bitch is thinking in his man, but she can't see me. You rather drink than go pull up, but took a knife through the game, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. I came to eat at the a la carte. Got stripped of a bear, call me brainstorm. Then I come together like a Voltron. Then I poured all the planks, you use a second kind. Straight rappers to the streets like Cobra. 80s they can float it like up in the storage and I'm man. Up, down, down, man, I'm cheap. You a beast, man. I take a beat in. Ninja turtle rap, turtle glands, get defeated. Hop in my ride, you can call me Night Rider. You can never stop me, cause I'm a guy bomb. Bad attitude like a rocket, my whole to the A, and I bet you can stop us. LL bad, when I go and show up, you can hear the haters in the back. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie.
What's up? What's up? What is going on, everybody? This your man Drake Mack coming to you again with another episode of the Drake Mack Show. 7:30 in the morning Central Time, 8:30 on the East Coast. If you're on the West Coast, get up because you already know the early bird gets the worm. And on today's episode, I know everybody is doing a reaction, or talking about Daredevil. The reaction from the critics. Oh my God, it sounds so good. And all of this and all of that. Yep, that's cool. And I might get to that, maybe tomorrow. But I just noticed it's February 25th, and I haven't really talked about the impact of Black superheroes and why, when it comes to these films, why the representation is so important. And I'm going to pull from a very unlikely source to kind of give a perspective on why I believe this. So hopefully you guys are happy. Hopefully you guys are healthy. Today, shout out to my man Heavy Gant. Excuse me. Shout out to my man Heavy Gant over at the Heavy Gant channel. We about to get into it before I choke to death, but you already know what it is. The real question is, all right. Shout out to everybody who is in here. Good morning. Molly Mar, good morning. Torian Rain Reloaded, good morning. The church auntie Roberta's up in here. Good morning. Junior Network is up in here. Good morning. Andre Ware's up in here. Good morning, my brother. Good morning. Robin D is in the house. That's Robin D. Good morning. And don't forget, y'all already see it. Hit the like button. Hit the like. That's all I really ask for is hit the like button. Brother Juma is up in here. Good morning. Professor Film Fam is up here. Good morning, my brother. Good morning. Tracy Woods is up in here. Good morning. And of course, y'all seen the episode of Blurred AF. Y'all seen it last night. You see how Tina snuck up in here. When I'm not here, then that's when Tina want to sneak up in here. But it's all good. It is perfectly fine. That's my girl. That's my sis. Love that girl to death, man. It's her spirit. Everything is amazing. And I love my sister to death, honestly. You know what I mean? And since she called me an old man, I guess I gotta be big bro. You know what I'm saying? I gotta be big bro. She the big sister to chill, and I'm big brother to her. Stop playing. That's my girl though. Shout out to Blue for holding it down. Obviously, I had to work, and then I came in on like a break just to come holler at y'all. You know what I mean? But uh, who else had then walked up in here? Carol Black. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Rashad Walker. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. All right, let's go ahead and get started. I know people were filing in. And again, I legitimately could have been talking about, oh man, did y'all see what the critics talked about Daredevil? I could be talking about that. And it was quite enticing. But when I looked at, I thought about something real hard yesterday. I really did. I was thinking about, you know, what does it mean for real when it comes to representation? And what does that look like? Does these films, do they really change the outlook of the way that we look at stuff? And does it really change and give a feeling to something that makes us want to change? And it goes back to we always talk about the cultural impact of Black Panther. The culture, look how everybody came out for the culture, the culture, the culture, the culture, the culture, the culture. Even though that T'Challa was not a, foundational Black American, there was something about it. We're talking about T'Challa, the character, not Chadwick Boseman, T'Challa, the character. He came from a fictional place in Africa, but we still felt a connection as Black people to that story. And then seeing the struggles of what was going on with Killmonger mentally, and the way that he operated things was still not right. The way that he operated, outside of that wasn't right. But we still had a connection. We had an emotional feeling, to that movie. When we're talking about representation, when people are on film, are they representing us in the right light, in the right dynamic? And it's very, very noticeable to me that in the landscape of film, and I'm talking about major films, is that the cultural aspect when it comes to Black people tends to get tossed to the side. I'm just going to be honest. It tends to get tossed to the side. And you could say, well, why is that? I believe it gets tossed to the side because we live in a day and age where you cannot be yourself. That you have to, placate or come to an understanding so people can be able to feel you without, your sexuality or your race has nothing to do with anything. And to make everybody feel comfortable. Right? And that's what I saw. I saw people starting to look at this and start to get comfortable because we're okay with the bad wigs and the Tyler Perry movies and the same old stories over and over again. Just because it's coming from a Black man does not mean it's not above reproach. Let me say that again. Just because it's because it's from a Black person does not mean that film, we cannot critique that film for what it is. You see what I mean? And we need to be able to hold. Let me say this. I gotta say this like this because I'm gonna show you something from an unlikely person because I was watching the video last night and it clicked. It clicked. Just because someone is a Black director, Black executive, they funded it because they're Black, does not mean it represents us well. And the right type of representation you know, is very important, even when it comes to comic films. Because I'm going to tell you, comic films are still films at the end of the day. They're still works of art, just like when we open up our comic books, those are works of art. It's a work of fiction, but it's a work of art. And the most likeliest movies get all of these awards, and they have nothing to do with, I think, the premise of film. I'm going to, so I was watching, let me just get to my point, or get to, where I got this from. So I've been watching a lot of, either documentaries or conversations from old, you know, mob bosses, right? Because I'm fascinated. I've always been fascinated on how the mob moves, right? And the way the mob moves is all family, right? Family. If you know anything about the mob, or anything of that, you know, you see the way that they move and operate. Family oriented. You know what I'm saying? If someone is loud in the family, if you ever seen Goodfellas, or you see Joe Pesci's, can you see Tommy? That's what happens to people when they loud and obnoxious, because it is bad business for the family, right? And with that, they protect their culture. Now, you can say, how can organized crime or organized crime bosses talk about protecting their culture? Well, after all I'm talking about, I'm at work watching hours and hours and hours and hours of just them talking, right? Number one, they're going to represent them being Italian first. You know what I mean? No matter what crime that they're doing, they're Italian first, and we got to protect our people. We got to protect Italy. We got to protect the name of Italian Americans in America. We got to protect that name, for one, right? No matter what I'm doing, I got to protect that. So you won't see them doing certain things as far as the way that they are portrayed in media. They will automatically have pushback to that, because not all Italian Americans are in the mob, right? That's just like us. Every black person that you see ain't out here gang banging, selling crack, all of that stuff, right? But they're very keen on protecting their people, right? The loud ones get eliminated. You're loud within the family, you're out, right? You don't protect your wifey kids, you're out, right? This is I'm using this as an example, right? The highest crime organization, besides the Jewish mafia, you have the Italian mafia, Russian mafia, you got the triads, you got the cartels. As far as organization, the Jewish mafia, from what I've studied and start to understand, the Jewish mafia and the Italian mafias are so keen on protecting the prospect of their people. So you can't say that I'm this, because now I got backup, right? And I thought about, like, when it came to black people, like, why aren't we that protective that we won't allow certain things to be shown because it peeps a bad light to us, right? All right. It trust story. Yeah, I know. I know. But when do we start becoming less vocal on the way that we are being portrayed in media? The reason why a lot of people don't take our movies seriously, or take our representation seriously because we allow so much crap. The guy Ninja Turtle, he was on Pop the Balloon, just was going through just X, just because I was looking at certain things, seeing what people were saying out here about Daredevil or whatever, and he's on a video being Ninja Turtle, being loud, obnoxious, an emotional man, trying to snap on women and all that. Just yes, I can understand why people are mad about the Zeus Network picking up Magazine Dreams. But at the same time, we're also funding the foolishness so they can pick up Magazine Dreams. Because that particular show is on Zeus. But we get entertained by it. We get entertained by baddies. Let's not act like we don't. A lot of people watch my daughter. I'm like, why are you watching this mess? And what can I say, though? Well, I can say stuff, but she lives with her mom. You know what I mean? And what can I say? I can say that's wrong, but we still feed the beast. As much as I say, people are still going to allow things to be fed, and it plays into our subconscious. And if it plays into our subconscious, then what does it do for somebody that's not us? What does that play into our subconscious? Right? What does this all mean? Well, the conclusion that I got is that Hollywood would never care about us, never care about our characters, whether they're superheroes or regular Joe people, because we allowed the mess. And we all do it under disguises. Hey, I mean, at least it's black people, at least white people ain't doing it. It's black people, so that makes it okay. You know what I mean? And then when we do push back, we do fight back against this, we get pushback from our own people more than anything. It's kind of like that R. Kelly episode of the Boondocks. You know what I mean? Where, Huey was the only one that was like, you can't make the man like he a civil rights leader, like he part of the Black Panthers. He's going to jail because of what he did. But people were still protecting him. No matter what he did, that's R. Kelly. He sing good. I don't care. No matter what crime that he committed, it didn't matter. You see what I mean? So no matter what crimes, what is being portrayed about us, it don't matter as long as you're entertained. That's something that I learned that the Italians will not do. Jews will not do. Right? Why you think black people don't have organized crime like that? Never had. And when we did have it, it really got destroyed. People became informants, and that was the end of that. Because we won't check the bull jive. We won't say, and when we do, we get more pushback from people because you're taking away their entertainment. So, honestly, in hindsight, can we be mad at how we're being portrayed on film? Can we be mad that they didn't really want to bring up race with Anthony Mackie and Captain America Brave New World? Because even black people will still have something to say about it. They'll still turn around, turn on a camera, turn sideways, look at you with a jacked up line and tell you it's woke. It will still tell you that. They will still downplay the foolishness that is going on, but sit up there and point that out. It's literally the crab in a bucket mentality. While we're seeing other people check that crap at the door, we will sit there and allow the foolishness, but then get mad about how the characters are being portrayed on film. When we're allowing, because we won't stand up and say enough of this foolishness, because that small pocket of people is going to be too loud. It's going to be your cousin. They're going to call you a hater. You know what I mean? They're going to call you everything under the sun to shame you because they have been programmed to accept this mess. So, again, why did I say this? Let me show you real quick. I think I'm on the right video too. And I want to make sure that I'm on the right video before I even go forward. Because I was watching this last night and I said, wow, this is something that if you listen to it, you'll understand where I'm coming from. Yep, this is exactly where I want to be at. So give me a second while I transition over so we can go ahead and I want to show you this clip because this is going to be so important for what I'm saying here in a moment. Hold on. Now, this gentleman that's on screen, that's a bad. I clipped it at the worst time. This gentleman on here is Michael Franzini, and he's a former mob boss, turned Christian, that he worked under the Colombo crime family, one of the five big families in the mob, in organized crime in the mob. And before I get started, American Need You Girl, what's up? Because I seen you coming here. Calico, what's good? What's good? What's good? Good morning. Jerron, what's up? Good morning. Good morning. Be positive. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Let me see. Did I miss anybody? Tina, Mitty Gaza, what's up? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Terrell Austin, what's up? And then my man Blue is up here. What is up? What is up? I wanted to shout out everybody. I think I seen the replay. I miss Erica D coming through here, and I didn't see her in there, and that just sucks. All right, hey Blue Sky, good morning, good morning, good morning. So Michael Franzese is a great he is a great interviewer, a great storyteller about his thing. He don't hide nothing back. I love the way that I could just listen and pick a lot of stuff from his brain to be able to understand. American DJ Girl, exactly. And that's why I tell a lot of people, and I'm gonna go back to what Torian Rain Reloaded said earlier. You know what I mean? But you're right. But this was said in the Miseducation of the Negro by Carter G. Woodson. That was already said. That money, legitimate money makes everything happen. And what we've been sold on is to try to be like them. I'm just going to keep it a buck with you. When you look at propaganda after we got to look at after Jim Crow. You have, because Jim Crow, the area of propaganda is demoralizing to even look at. As a black person, like I still want to go to the Jim Crow Museum when I go to DC. So when I do go to DC, anybody in the DC area that want to link up with me, you know what I'm saying? We gonna put that together. You know what I mean? When I go to DC this year. But when you go and I think it's the Jim Crow Museum is in DC, but I know it's the Black History Museum is in DC. But anyway, if you go and you look at the way we were propagated through Jim Crow is demoralizing. Then when you can't propagate anymore, what is the best way to propagate? To have us believe in their dream without it being obtained because it is just a dream. And I'm talking about after Jim Crow. Talking about after Jim Crow. Understand the timeline that I'm putting this at. I'm not saying 2025 or 2010 or 2020 or the 2000s or 1990s or 1980. I'm talking about right after Jim Crow. The best way to sell to the Negro here, because all of it is part of propaganda, right? Is to make them feel like they're going for our dream when we're really crushing their spirits and giving them a nightmare, because you will fall into debt trying to chase something that's unattainable. Why? Because at that time, and I'm really talking about the 1970s, The mid after the civil rights movement, going into the 70s, when they start pulling a lot of the jobs out of major cities. You look at LA, you know what I mean? You look at LA, Compton, California, Gardena, all of these places, you can see the remnants of where Firestone and all these other places were at, and how they took that money, they took those factories where everybody was searching for the American dream, took those jobs where black people were coming to out of those neighborhoods. And then that dream became a nightmare, because how you going to be able to feed your family, and how you going to be able to do this, how you going to be able to do that, without, even without proper transportation and all of that. Remember, this is when busing was really big. Nobody had a problem about getting on a bus and going to a job. But when that job is not there, and now you got more fast food restaurants, do you actually do buildings that actually produce goods and services? That what are you doing? What's going to happen next? And then people, the FBI, the CIA starts flooding in drugs into the communities. What do you think is going to happen to that community? That dream that they was looking for is going to turn into a nightmare if something doesn't shake for them real quick. You know what I mean? I seen it done in Kansas City. Where I'm from, I lived in LA, I lived in Houston. You know what I mean? Don't know really too much about Houston and the divides and stuff like that they had in rail line or whatever. But you could tell where the remnants of a black neighborhood used to be, where it used to thrive. Ours in Kansas City, where I'm from, KCK, Kansas City, Kansas. We used to have we still have it. We have an area, a street called Quindaro Boulevard. You know what I mean? Of course, it was named after the conquistador, Quindaro, whatever. Who cares? He was a colonizer. But that same area also was a place for the Underground Railroad. So a lot of people in the Quindaro ruins escaped from Missouri, which was a slave state, I know I was going to give y'all some black history, over into Kansas, which was a free state. That's why if you ever hear about Kansas and Missouri, basketball or football, they call it the border war. The original reason for that, because Kansas was a free state and Missouri was a slave state. And that was a way for people that was enslaved over in Missouri to cross over and be free in Kansas. And they fought over there in the Missouri, by the Missouri River, fought. Right? But the black people who came over there, they had legitimate business all through Quindaro. They had banks. I remember going to going into that building that used to be a bank back in like the 1940s, 50s. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was all black neighborhood. It was that whole entire area was black, right? Even though you had white people who sorted their stuff, they couldn't touch that area until, and what happened in Kansas, the competitors came in and say, well, I know you over there with Joe Brown, right? Joe Brown has been selling you electronics, selling you appliances, you know what I mean, for the last 20 years. But now we have, Sears. Don't you want to shop at Sears? And what did they do? They play a commercial. They got black people shopping at Sears. And now you feel like you're not accomplished if you don't shop at Sears. So you say, damn the guy over here, damn John Brown, especially since you've been buying from him for so many years. You'll go right over to Sears. And now your mindset is no different than the people that you said that you didn't even like. How you're propagated. And you wonder why the money dried up. Now what happens when the money dries up in the neighborhood? The neighborhood goes down. People come in and buy the property. And that's how gentrification happens. Now, in the case of Kansas City, Kansas, wasn't no white people coming in there bombing nothing. Matter of fact, my uncle went to Northeast High School, and they didn't come in there They tried to come in there and start something and got beat the up, completely beat the up, and that was the last time you heard it about that because he wasn't playing that. Because at that particular time, black people were strong. So the outlook of what black people look like and what that pride that they felt about themselves, it was strong. But when they said you gotta follow our dream, that's when it died. And now we're just happy to make money rather in our ratchetness and all of that. So again, it goes back to the question: can you really get mad about how the characters are represented on film, whether they're comic book or not? Let me play this clip real quick, and this is going to make so much sense. So much sense. Again, I would highly just if you just want to listen to him talk about he's a born again Christian, all that. Just to hear him talk, he has some amazing points. But let me play this real quick. And he's talking about the impact because The Godfather is his favorite movie. So he's talking about the impact of The Godfather on Italian Americans. Listen to this. And this is fair use, so I'm gonna stop it. Start. You know how I do.
Successful. For me, it's Godfather 1. You know, I don't know. When that film came out, it was just it was unbelievable. The impact it had on the guys on the street. You could see it. I mean, it was so obvious. You know, that film was romanticizing the life so much. It brought honor, respect, integrity to the life. Guys on the street carried themselves differently after the film.
All right, I'm going to stop it right there because I'm going to replay what he just said. A film that romanticized the mafia lifestyle. Again, this movie won an Oscar. It won so many awards. It is a really tremendous film. As a film, as somebody who, like I said, I want to get into this business, and this is the reason why I was watching all these particular films. I said I gotta watch The Godfather 2 this weekend. It is a tremendous film that romanticized criminal lifestyle. But did you see the way it changed? It brought pride to people. A movie that romanticized crime. Now you have, because the way that and if you watch the film, the way that they did it, and they see the family aspect of it, it makes you feel a certain way, like you got to stand up and be able to represent your family and represent your people, whether right, wrong, or indifferent. Now, the reason why I said this is the reason why Black Panther and T'Challa was so effective. It was effective for the simple fact is that you have these people who are watching a superhero film for the first time, or I mean, an all black ensemble superhero film for the first time. I'm not talking about Meteor Man, because a lot of the people who went into the movies, you know, Meteor Man, they don't know what Meteor Man is because they're in their, you know, early 20s. So they never heard of Meteor Man or Blank Man or stuff like that. And again, even those movies wasn't taken seriously. But now we have a movie in the MCU that has been taken super seriously, right? And now they're starting to feel a certain pride. What if it's the biggest what if a black nation was never colonized by the Europeans, by the Dutch, by the British, by the French, you know what I mean? You know, by the Spaniards, the Portuguese, so on and so forth. You know what I mean? So that gave an outlook of what that would look like, Afrofuturistic or futurism. And we started to feel just a little bit more pride. We got a black superhero. Yes, he's not a foundational black American. I get that, because I had somebody in my comment section was like, he goes so hard for a non-foundational black American more than he does as black American. Why do I go so hard? Because of the impact. If the movie was crap and it represented us wrong, I'm talking about people with brown and black skin, people with black skin, dark skin, not black skin, dark skin. and you see that for the first time, you know what I mean? People start jumping into this superhero genre that was black because of Black Panther. That's the type of impact that Godfather had with Michael, we had with Black Panther. People start really thinking differently. We always had this because the cultural impact of the Cosby Show, but we allowed them. And I'm going to say it's going to be very controversial, and I honestly don't care. We still allow people. We allowed Dr. Cosby's legacy with the show, not Dr. Cosby, but with the show. We allowed the jokes to flourish, and while we let the jokes flourish, they allowed to take that show, which was a big impact on my life. You understand? So was A Different World. We allowed them to take that off air. We allowed it. Because just like R. Kelly's music, if y'all go cap for R. Kelly, cap for Bill Cosby too. And be like, no, at least keep the show. Whatever they do with him, I don't care. Keep the show. Because of the cultural significance. The cultural significance of Fat Albert and Friends. The cultural significance of A Different World. Seeing black people in colleges, and we ain't just shucking and jiving through the whole entire show like Homeboys from Outer Space. Are you understanding what I'm saying? The guy who sings "We Will Rock You" still gets played in stadiums, and he had a wild case. A wild case. They didn't have no problem. They didn't take that song out. They took it out of Kansas City. Used to play it. You know, every time we had an intermission, you know, or a timeout, television timeout, they would play that to get everybody going. They don't play it anymore, but some stadiums still play it. Matter of fact, I heard a commercial that was still playing it. Where have you seen not Queen, not We Will Rock You. Let Me Start It Up. I think that guy. Or was it? It'll come to me. I'm gonna get it in a second. But it's one of the songs they used to play. But the guy got a wild allegation. Well, I'm talking about wild. You know, I don't want to even repeat it on here because I'm trying to keep them off my butt. YouTube. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is that no matter what, they can be protected, but they didn't want to protect the positive image that was going on. And we had a lot of those positive images. Where is the Family Matters, the Huxtables, you know? I mean, hell, Martin was funny. Martin had characters, but Martin Lawrence himself just wasn't an idiot, just doing stuff. Rock, thank you, Rashad. Rock, I used to love Rock. You know, for me, being honest with you, the biggest impact for me, it was two shows. Because Good Times was in syndication when I was growing up. And seeing James Evans being moral, he was like my uncle. He was like my uncle that helped raise me. They were very similar. They didn't take no stuff. They had the cul-de-sac. You know what I mean? And we didn't mind taking off that belt. You know what I mean? And for me, besides Dr. Cosby, it was James Avery's Uncle Phil, because I knew how I felt because I was living with an uncle that was helped raising me, and I understood a lot of what Will was coming from. You know, that scene where his daddy didn't come back, I know exactly how that feels. Except My daddy didn't go trucking. My daddy went to prison. Do you know what I mean? But the representation to show it on the show impacted me. Where is the impact now? This is why I fight so hard for T'Challa and recast T'Challa. Why I wanted them to go a little harder with Anthony Mackie's, version of Captain America and talk about real stuff. Ain't everybody just not gonna be happy you Captain America. Everybody gonna be sitting cheering. Yeah, right. That's not reality. Why? I'm happy that they want to bring Luke Cage back because look at the cultural impact that show did, especially after Trayvon Martin. The reason why he wore the hoodie. The reason why he turned around and they shot up his, they were shooting our back and shooting his back. Because they knew Trayvon didn't have that type of bulletproof skin or, the countless of other, brothers and sisters that was killed by the hands of police. You know what I mean? That's why that representation is so important. Why not just Shuri be on there? We need Nubia in the DC land. We need Misty Knight back. Because sisters need to know, just because you got a big ass doesn't mean you got it. That's the only thing that matters about who you are. Just because you pretty, you got a bad body, that ain't the only thing that's special about you. Dark skin, light skin, or even the many of colors that black women are. You're still more than that. That brothers can have a representation that we are more than just sexual objects. We're more than just baby daddies. We're more than just that. And that we have pride within ourselves. That we are more than even what we portray on film. That can be very detrimental to us. But if the right representation is not on screen, where is the impact? Where's all the, my sons and all of them? Where are they at? What do they have to look forward to? Where are they, James Evans, at? Besides us. Because let's be real. People say, well, you can't make celebrities your heroes when you got 99.9% of the time you're on this device. And you're sitting there like this 99.9% of the time. You can't even go eat without somebody being in a damn phone, watching something on YouTube, watching, you know what I mean? Watching me on YouTube. Stop watching me with your people. Eat with your family. You know what I'm saying? Look at people crazy. Put a finger up a nose. Just do something with your family. Besides having a phone up here. And if you're not learning something, what are you really ingesting? Like the Bible says, your body is a temple. So in the part where the knowledge goes and it's just stuff full of crap, what are you really putting in your body? Let me replay this, and I want you to really understand where he's coming from. I don't know why I keep getting them right there.
Successful. For me, it's Godfather 1. I don't know. When that film came out, it was just, it was unbelievable. The impact it had on the guys on the street, you could see it. I mean, it was so obvious. That film was romanticizing the life so much. It brought honor, respect, integrity to the life. Guys on the street carried themselves differently after the film. I remember it. It was my era. I remember the whole time when Joe Colombo got involved in that.
And I'm going to stop it right there. I think it was something else that that I wanted to talk. I wanted to bring home. I think that was it on that. But if you understand how impactful, like, movies are not just entertainment. They're actually a way to program you. Because honestly, I'm gonna keep it a buck. Even when Colors came out, even though my mama represented you know, uh, part of the gang life. Yeah, my mama gang bang from LA, from Pomona actually. You know what I mean? And even seeing that, the way that people, even in Kansas City, that did not know about a set in LA wanted to gang bang because of what they saw on TV. Don't know any of those places over in California, none of them streets. And trust me, I was across Rosecrest, I was in Piru, you know what I mean? I lived on North Wilmington Avenue, you know what I'm saying? On Grape Street, you know what I'm saying? It's just, that's not where you want to, and you see that life, that ain't what you want. But just like how they said it changed them, look how that changed the perspective. And again, Black Panther, yeah, and he was Rocket. You know what I'm saying? But just like Black Panther was a cultural impact. So I was so devastating to watch Black Panther Wakanda Forever, because you're killing these characters. You're killing this character for what? Because they didn't understand, because they don't value us. And I don't care if the executive producer is right, is black. They don't really care about us for real. I mean, just like with anything, you got to give somebody something to care about. But if we're not taking the initial stance to be able to call out the bull jive and then be able to, not participate in the foolishness. But if these people are getting paid, and this is a broke mentality, that you will literally go out here, you'll fight women out here, will fight, you know what I'm saying? All of this stuff for a check. And then they make you famous. That's the crazy part. We will make you famous being the most ignorant person you have ever seen. Think about it. Remember these nuts? Oh, what was my man's name? Waylon. They made him rich. You know what I mean? They made him rich. And then if you call it this mess out, but like, we see what you're doing. Nope, nobody cares. Because then if you say, y'all just doing this foolishness and y'all made this man rich, they'd be like, you a hater. And exactly, Gray. Exactly. This is why one of the reasons that I embrace my nerdism, because I told you guys this before. I didn't want to show everybody that I was a black nerd, because I didn't want to be treated differently. If you understand where I'm coming from, I didn't want to be treated differently because I am a black nerd. I wanted them to take me seriously because I'm into, black. I'm talking about black history and black issues and stuff like that, and the things that we could be able to do to be able to change the perspective. Like I said, I tell everybody, go read the book, or go find the book, The Black Image in the White Mind by George Frederickson, and see what they thought about us and see what they think about us now. Here's what they think about you. No Ice Cube. But that's exactly why we have to change the perspective. That's the reason why you have to fight for a T'Challa, fight for a Luke Cage to come back on screen, fight for a Blue Marvel, fight for Isaiah Bradley, Eli Bradley, fight for these black characters. You got to. Because if you don't, they're going to continue to give us stuff that they think entertains us, because that's how much they think about us. Think about it. What does that representation look like to you? And how much are you willing to fight to have the impact of your people look better when we fight against the foolishness that, quite honestly, got us in this place in the first place? Because let's be real, we want to be like them and they not like us.
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up. Wrap that shit up, B.
I got to get up here and I got to wrap it up. Again, this was, like I said, I haven't really talked about Black history or the impact or whatever. And I wanted to just take some time to talk to you guys that we are a beautiful people. We should think more highly about ourselves. We shouldn't be falling for the banana in the tailpipe either. But when you're dealing with people who they have conditioned to think so low on themselves, and I'm not talking about all of it, you know who I'm talking about, that they could just sell us on fantasy and they keep feeding the fantasy to us. How much are you going to break away from the chains of the mental shackles? You know what I mean? The mental shackles that we go through. Break away from this mess and actually think better about ourselves. And I believe if it starts here, it trickles down and goes into here. All right, let me get you guys up out of here. Thank you so very much for tuning in to another episode of the Dre Max Show. Again, tell me what you guys think about this. Is Black representation important to you or whatever? Put it in the comments section below and let me know what you guys think. But again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that bell notification so you can never, ever, ever miss one of my videos again. Until next time, I'll holler at you guys later. Peace and vibe hard. Y'all told you I'll be having a lot on my mind. That's why my forehead's so big. Where's my outro at? You know I gotta go and let the forehead breathe. I mean, wait a minute. You're telling me the video's over? What? Okay, I guess so. If you have came to this portion of the video, thank you so very much for sticking to the end. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that little bell notification so you never miss one of my videos. And if you really want to, you don't got to, go ahead and follow the social media links that's down below. Until next time, I'll let you guys later. Peace and vibe higher, y'all. Y'all take care of yourself.